Joining me now, Americans for Tax Reform President Grover Norquist. Grover, how do you see this?
Well, it's not good. When Biden came into office, inflation was running on an annualized basis of just over 1%. Now it's up more than 5 times to 7%. And the producer price index, the inputs into the economy, the inflation there is even higher, almost 10%, which suggests that several months from now, we're going to see the consumer price index drift upwards as well. It doesn't help that at the same time they're increasing the regulatory costs embedded in all products, and they're threatening to put about $2 trillion in higher taxes on top of all the other costs you pay. Taxes raise the price of goods and services, so do regulations, so does printing too much money. And they're doing all three, or trying to.
James Freeman, get in here.
Yeah, I think we all ought to be concerned because so many of the people now who are assuring us that inflation is going to decline very rapidly, a year ago were not saying it would be running at 7% now. They thought it would be much lower. So this sort of Washington Wall Street consensus that there are a number of factors that are naturally going to rapidly bring the inflation rate down, I think ought to be questioned. And that's why one of the reasons I'm glad we ran that Furman op-ed. And as you said, he was the chairman of the Obama Council of Economic Advisors. So this is another Democrat, like Larry Summers, trying to warn the powers that be in Washington that we have a real inflation problem.
Grover?
Well, politicians often can't walk and chew gum at the same time. And the Biden administration White House has decided they have a list of things they're doing. And combating inflation wasn't and isn't on the list. So they keep telling you it didn't happen. It's transitory. Not sure that transitory means what they think it means. We don't have time for this, is what they're telling us. They don't have a fix for it. They didn't understand how it got here. And they don't ask themselves the other things they're looking to do. Spending more money, raising taxes, doing more regulation, subsidizing trial lawyers. That is a way to raise costs of producing anything. And that's in the BBB, Build Back Better bill. Tax subsidies for trial lawyers to sue people to raise the cost of goods and services. Shutting down pipelines inside the United States, into the United States. Cost of energy has increased faster than other things. That's not just inflation, consumer inflation. That's actually going into a sector and smashing it up and raising the costs.
Well, what the White House has done, Joe Biden and company, is one of their favorite exercises. They are lambasting and vilifying private industry and blaming big evil meat, big evil oil, the big evil supermarkets. You name an industry where prices have gone up, they're targeting them. And so I wonder if to come is more regulation, more oversight of these industries, because, again, the Federal Reserve has bought in the last year more than half the new debt issued by the federal government. The Federal Reserve has been propping up the free spending, spendthrift Democrats and sopping up that additional debt issuance. I want to get your reaction to this. White House economic advisor Brian Deese keeps pushing for trillions more in the government spending. Listen to this, Grover, as a way to fight inflation. Just listen, and I'll get your reaction.
Largest single costs that families face are health care, child care, the cost of a home, and we have concrete, practical, straightforward ways to deliver relief on those costs. So that's why, our focus and our work on Build Back Better continues.
Well, child care will actually go up under this if you have, depending on your source of child care. More lies, Grover.
Look, their argument is that if they subsidize something, it's less expensive. No, it's not. You just shifted the cost. someplace else. And as you point out, the regulations they're putting into child care, that you can't, have a relative do it, and then they have to have a college degree and they have to pay union dues and that sort of stuff, that is going to raise the cost of child care. They may hide some of the costs by putting them into taxes on other people, but that doesn't make the cost go away. You don't make something less expensive by pretending that it's by subsidizing it. Matter of fact, you tend to make it over time more expensive. Their argument that greedy businessmen cause inflation. Now, businessmen during the Trump years were evidently not greedy, but as soon as Biden got elected, they all were greedy. Under Carter, Jimmy Carter, they were very greedy businessmen. Then when Reagan got in, no one was a greedy businessman. Their idea of what causes inflation is juvenile.
Juvenile is at least not 4 letters. I would choose a 4-letter word, but Grover Norquist, terrific to see you, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.